Hey there, this is Haplin, and welcome to this new video series on a quick start guide to running your first DR. In the following videos, I'm going to show you exactly everything that you need to do in order to run your first database reactivation through HighLevel. I want to say that this is not teaching you how to think about or conceptualize or theorize about database reactivation. I give you lots of good strategy and lots of tips and tricks throughout this training, but the primary focus of these training videos are implementation. I want you to have another window open where you are pausing my training and implementing, clicking the buttons as you see them in your own HighLevel account as we go. Because if you get through this video series and you do everything that I do, you will actually have run your first database reactivation. So this isn't a pitch into something else, or this isn't a bait and switch or anything like that. I'm actually showing you how to do it exactly as I do. That said, I want to emphasize before I jump into the overview, just that it truly is a quick start guide. I condensed hours of complicated training and a vast software with innumerable features that are continually being developed and expanded upon every single day by the wonderful development team over at HighLevel. I condensed all of that into a very short, very direct, rubber hits the road type of implementation series. So that said, I don't hit every single feature. You're not going to be a high-level expert by the time you finish this video series, but that's not the goal. The goal is that you will be able to confidently run database reactivation. So that said, we put the blinders on. We forsake everything else that doesn't have to do with database reactivation. The snapshot itself, the campaigns that you're using are the direct database reactivation related campaigns, and there's nothing else in there. So we can just keep fully 100% focus on a singular goal. So if you're ready to do that, let's go over what we're going to get into. First of all, I hold your hand through Twilio setup. This is just basic kind of one-time tech setup stuff. If you're not a tech person, don't worry. You just need to follow that video step by step. It's the shortest one. It's actually probably the easiest one to get set up with. You won't be able to send any text unless you have Twilio set up. So we just have to get through this kind of boring little tech setup first, but then we get into the action. The next video after that, send your first message. So I show you how to download a snapshot, how to get assets from us into your HighLevel account, campaigns and triggers and automation and all that stuff. It's pre-set up for you. I've already done all that work. We're going to obviously review it together so you can really understand what's going on, but you don't have to build anything. We've already built it all for you via this snapshot. I'm going to show you how to build your first test sub account and then send your first message. So by the time you get through this video, you will actually be texting through HighLevel, and you'll send yourself a message and you'll see it pop up on your phone. And I'm excited for you to see that first message. Next, after that, we're going to get into the real meat. This is like the cornucopia of training for database reactivation. Since we just sent a message in the previous video, I'm going to start by showing you how to receive a message from a real phone. So you're going to receive your first message. We'll go over campaign verbiage and the campaigns themselves. Make sure that you've got your offer set up. We'll go over the opportunities section. This is another feature that's important to understand. And then we're going to start testing DR and understanding all the triggers and the automation via a live test. So we're going to send the first test offer, get your first test opt-in, set your first test appointment or book your first test appointment, then actually cancel that appointment. Ideally, we don't want to cancel appointments, but it happens sometimes that we have to. So you need to know how to do this and how to do it appropriately. And then you need to know how to mark an appointment as no-show, similar to cancel, but not quite the same. Then at the very end of that, we'll put this all together and we'll run through a test at light speed as I do every time I set up a new client. I'll show you how I test through all of my triggers and test through the entire account before I turn anything live. This is the video that I highly recommend you watch more than once, especially even just the last 5 minutes of it. It's doing all of this, but in real time and in lightning speed. I go through this stuff really slowly at first, and then in the last 5 minutes of this video, I say, okay, now let's start all the way up at the top again and basically run through the whole thing as fast as possible. And surprisingly, it only takes a few minutes to get through the entire set. Lastly, I show you how to upload a list. So in the previous video, this is all in the context of testing. And now in this video, we actually go to doing this at scale, taking a list of 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 leads, putting it into HighLevel. I give you best practices for receiving your list from your client, how to format it. And I always use Google Sheets, so I'll show you Google Sheets, downloading it from there and uploading it into HighLevel, how to set up your first drip campaign, and then how to review your first drip campaign to make sure that it's set up correctly. And if you can get through all of that in the next few minutes here with me in this video series, if you get through the end of upload a list, then there is nothing in between you and running your first DR. So I'm super excited to get you across that finish line and see what kind of results you get from it. The last thing I have to hammer home is that you must have high level to get anything out of this whole video series. So if you don't have high level and you're just watching along, you're going to be wasting your time. It's a total waste of time. You won't get any results from it. You won't get much information even from it. It's not going to impress or wow you unless you're going along with this to actually get the result that we're getting every day using this exact strategy. So underneath this video is a link to go sign up for a free trial of high level. Just get started with it. Give them the information that they need so they can get you a free account, and hop into that account and then follow along with the video series. Again, click the buttons as I'm clicking them, and I promise you that you will get a lot of value out of this video series. I'm excited to see what you do with it. If you're ready, go ahead and move on to the next video. Let's dig in.